Well, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It makes you wonder if it were just in the script somewhere along the line. You know, Rob Burrows, Luke Gale. You know, there's a lot of if you believe in that stuff, there's a lot of reasons that sort of point to it, Martin, too. Look, I thought we were gone. I don't know how it came across on telly or live, but I think as a game, look, I was really happy first. I thought we controlled the first half really, really well. I felt that there were times in that where we just didn't quite get his finishes right. You know, they were on the length of the field on that kick return try. And we come up with a couple of poor decisions in there. But I still felt things were really going to plan first half. We knew they wouldn't go away, you know, then they're certainly not that tired. I think they're really, really good and I think underestimated football team because there's a lot of experience in their team, Martin, what I think people often overlook. So we talked about trying to improve in a couple of areas second half, and then we started second half in the first 15 minutes in just a terrible fashion. And I never felt we quite got ourselves back into the game. I thought we tried on some kick chase to turn the momentum around. But I thought there were a couple of times there where we looked gone, even in that, I think, a minute and a half to go when they shifted with Inu over to the far side. And we came up with Tommy Briscoe came up with a sort of made a decision and we managed to recover and he knocked on. So second half, when Briscoe got his head knock, if we'd have lost him to a head knock, we would have been absolutely goosed with substitutions. That would have we lost Cuthbo, and if Tommy would have stayed off, I'm not sure we could have managed that last 15 minutes with what we'd got left on interchange. I think him coming back on and the energy that Brad Dwyer gave us, who were holding back because of the difficulties of our bench. We wanted to get Brad on a lot earlier than what we did. And the input of Alex Sutcliffe, who played a bit of centre and a bit of middle for us, I thought the energy that those two brought in that last 15 minutes were magnificent for us.
Yeah, there were small margins in the game. It's devastating to lose it. There were small margins in that game that we could have done certain things better to win it ourselves.
It's safe to say there've been several other examples of that and nothing had happened, wasn't it?
Yeah, mate. Like I say, I'll probably start going in a rage about some of the decisions, but I don't want to get into it. I thought, yeah, mate. I'm going to leave that at the moment.
Look, it was a tough game. Coming to a final, it's not going to be easy. And look, drama all the way. I thought at 60 minutes, we started the game real well. 60 minutes, we probably played the second half terrible. I think we completed one in the first 5. And we made it tough. Credit Salford, they're gritty, determined. And at one point, I thought we'd kind of thrown it away. But it's happened a few times this year. We've gone behind and we've had the belief in the team to come back. I can remember Huddersfield going 26-0 up and still getting the win. So the beliefs in this camp is fantastic. And look, it went our way and I'm overjoyed.
It'll sting, Tom. It'll sting. It's already stinging in there, mate. It's we've got some players who are right at the back end of the career now in terms of Mark Flanagan, Chris Wellham, even Kev's not getting any younger, people like that. And you don't, Christian Inu as well. You don't know when you're going to be here or whether you could get here again. So it was important for us to try and take that opportunity. But Leeds have done it. Leeds have got the win, and we congratulate them on the win, mate. We've just got to kind of move forward now and focus on the rest of the season and finish the season well, mate, to be fair.
I think you've got to credit opposition, that field position turn into points. And if we come up with 12 points in a half of football, I reckon that's all right. I think, again, an opposition like this in a game like this, mate, I think 12-0 at half-time would have been really happy. But at the same time, we don't think they've fired too many shots on us either. I know Evalds got through on a last tackle play where Richie mopped it up. And their try were a length at field, sort of great play, real good play from them. But I don't think they were causing us too many problems either because of where they were playing from. So in a game of this magnitude, if we could have come in at 12-0, I think we'd have been really, really happy given the performance. And we just felt a continuation of the same and a bit smarter in a couple of areas. But I thought we were really poor for that first 15 minutes of second half. And I will say, I just felt our spirit got us through in the end. I don't think it were a pretty performance at all. I thought we had some great energy from us players. We came up with some last-ditch moments, and Luke come up with a clutch play like we all know he can. But I actually thought, I don't want to be too harsh because we just won Challenge Cup, but I thought we'd got some poor performers over that second 40, and I thought it just weren't a good performance attacking-wise. I just thought spirit-wise, defensively, we just managed to hold his gloves up long enough and just enough.
We were probably a couple of options maybe wrong, and I thought, well, but coming in a final, you're not gonna score easy tries. You're not gonna score. So where you might score that week to week, they're not gonna let you score easy tries. So good point. I thought we dominated the field position, and as I say, we come out second half and we just did the opposite. We let the foot off the gas, and we let Salford come back in. So we didn't let Salford come back in; they come back in. But I think it was on the back of our errors.
I don't think it was a great game by any stretch of the imagination. I thought it was kind of ground out in the end. I thought we opened them up a hell of a lot in attack. We just weren't composed enough with the final pass. So we were trying to find kicks to score tries off rather than just be a little bit patient and turn them over on their try line. We ended up, I think Niall broke through, tried to kick over Myler's head. Myler catches it, ends up on the 30, 40 metre line. Christian Inu makes a break down the left edge, kicks inside, they make 20 metres off the back of that. We just weren't smart enough at them times to capitalise and put Leeds on the end of some aggressive defence then, really. We were kind of scrambling back. The boys in the first half, I think for the first 30 minutes, they were just defending. Every time we kind of got the ball and we get up into good field position, we score points. It's the same old story with us. We've got to learn to make sure we're more aggressive with how we do and we win that part of the game.
Congratulations, a wonderful turnaround and performance overall from where you were. Were you surprised you didn't get any set restarts in the game at all? I don't think we've seen that since.
No. Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. I don't know what Tommy Briscoe has to do to get a penalty anymore. I think the referees have got this opinion, because we had this in the semi-final, that Tommy just dives and thrashes around looking for penalties. But when you look, Tommy's winning battles in there. Tommy's winning battles and people are having second tugs at him. But they've just decided that, Tommy's a diver, so we're never going to give him a penalty. Which, over the semi-final and final, I just thought it almost became ridiculous. Because the fact is he's not. He's a strong kid and he wins battles. And yeah, I thought there were times. I thought there were plenty of times where we could have won them. But again, there weren't many in the game. So if it's consistent between both sides, then I suppose that's fair enough. The penalty count were pretty even. But I thought you saw a typical refereeing performance for a big game and a final and a semi at this time of year. Not quite reluctant to blow for too much, which is fine. Which is fine. If that's where we know it's at, then we can all adapt accordingly.
And just massive credit for both sets of players. This is a truly surreal occasion in a stadium that it isn't easy to play in when it's full. It's almost impossible when it's empty. But that was a real spectacle that, irrespective of how Leeds played, you must be proud to have been part of something like this and the way it's turned out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's difficult for me because I'm looking at my own team's performance thinking, we've just undone ourselves in 20 minutes there. But just really briefly looking through the 150 text messages I've got, everybody's talking about what a great spectacle it was. It's very hard for me when you're sort of in the moment of coaching sometimes to quite appreciate that. You're critiquing your own team's performance or lack of it at some stages today, really. But having said that, I think they've done magnificently well. I don't want to sound condescending. I think what they've done, they're a really tough team to beat. You would look at the semi-final draw and think, who'd you fancy out of that? And I'm telling you, from what they throw at you in attack, we're like, yeah, they've got a fair bit. You've got a fair bit to handle with them blokes. So yeah, touch wood, it came across good. We knew it were going to be different. It was different, but at the same time, as you saw from our players at the end, it still means the same. It still means the same to us. And for us, the journey of getting bundled out embarrassingly at Bradford last year, it's a little bit of a resurrection for us. You know, I think to turn it around in the space of 12 months, real credit to our players, real credit that how they come through today. Performance wasn't perfect, but the spirit that we've got inside of us, you know, just managed to get us home.
It shows the club and the team are moving in the right place from where we have been, and they're competing in these big games now. With everything that's happened, to come here and it end up being in a 17-16 result, and players and staff and everybody being absolutely devastated that we've not been able to win, shows probably a sign of how far we've come as a group and as a team over the last few years as well. That we are sat here in a Challenge Cup final and we're desperately disappointed. But the good thing is, if you look at it from a club, we've been to the grand final last year, we've been to a Challenge Cup final this year. We've kind of backed up what we did, and it's for us to keep kind of building.
Well, his contribution has been fantastic. You know, he assumed the captaincy really early. We just felt pre-season just a tad too early for him. We've asked him to play. When I say a different style, not a different style for him, but we've probably got some different philosophies and principles from the team that he's left, and you know the ridiculous success that he had there, and you know, a brilliant style of play. So he's had to sort of, I guess, see the game in a fractionally different way when we got the ball. He's assumed the captaincy. Look, he's not short on confidence. He won't mind me telling you that. So when it comes to them moments, he wants to take them and he wants to own them. We talked today about owning the big moments in the game. But right throughout our squad, Ross, if you wanted to do a bit of delving, we've got some really good stories in there and some really personal stories. And Luke's journey through the game, the resilience that is shown, to hang in there, you know, going through the lower divisions. And when he got to Super League, he played for a couple of teams that were doing it tough. To hang in there and have so much success over the last 4 or 5 seasons of his career, interjected with an Achilles injury and another major injury as well. I think that shows you what the game means to Luke. And he won't mind me talking about this, but, you know, he's got 2 young daughters. He lost his mum as a young bloke as well. And he holds that as an inspiration for him. And we've got a lot of little stories such as that within our camp today, which is why I'm talking about the spirit that, you know, we're all aware of each other's stories and backgrounds. And for Luke, you know, his name is on the Challenge Cup, the winning captain of the club. Your name goes on the plaque. So it's on there forever. And, you know, I'm just really happy for him and so glad that we signed him.
Congratulations. Absolutely fantastic for you. You played, I think, if I'm right, less than a dozen games for Leeds since you joined. Are you ahead of where you thought you'd be with your name now etched on the Challenge Cup?
Look, I suppose you press guys probably predicted not even to get to the top 8 at the start of the season. We never listened to that, thankfully. But we knew it. Look, I knew coming to Leeds, they had a young squad. I knew it'd kind of be a work in progress, and it still is a work in progress. But I mentioned before, the spirit that we've got is fantastic. So to win a Challenge Cup in my first year has probably surpassed all expectations, to be honest. It was probably never meant to be, but it's fantastic, and I think the journey that we're going to go on with this team is going to be a great one. I wanted to come back. Leeds have not had the best of years previous. I think they had three barren years since the 17 grand final. I wanted to come and I wanted to get Leeds back where they belong, and that was part of it. Having a young squad and building, and then blokes in there will run through a brick wall for you. So I'm honoured to lead the boys out today. It was the best moment of my career up to press. Hopefully it's the first of many, Phil.
And just finally for me, in terms of that number 7 shirt, obviously a lot of emotion attached to it, particularly this week. How fitting that you were wearing it and scored the winning point.
Yeah, massively. Look, I said when I first come to Leeds, about the time when Rob was diagnosed with M&D, I said if I could do even half of what I probably won't get half, to be honest, but if I could play the way he played week in, week out, I'd do myself proud, and I think I'd do Rob proud as well. So, look, it's been a tough week. We all watched the documentary on, I think it was Tuesday night. He's heroic. How he is, his mindset still, his family's mindset. So I hope we put a smile on his face today. I know he'll have been watching. I know his wife and his kids will have been watching. So I hope we did him proud, and it's fitting that I've got the number 7 jersey exactly as he did. And how good was he at Leeds? And he just led by example week in, week out. So, no, it's a fitting tribute, and I'm proud to be the number 7 jersey.
Probably Luke Gale's kind of shown that at the end. I thought he played okay, but he's come up with a play at the end of the game to win him the game, and that's kind of that know-how. We just needed to be better in certain areas, probably be a little bit more patient. It's like we talk about little things when we're talking about Niall kicking ahead, when we're talking about Christian Inu kicking ahead, rather than just build that pressure. That's what the best teams do, and they're relentless at that and ruthless as a club. But like I say, yeah, there was a few turning points in the games. We did think when we scored that try, we'd probably it's looking like it's our day. We just needed to be composed and good enough to defend out that result probably.
You have to sort of understand this, that I've said before this week, I don't think I'm ever going to win the PR battle. I think if anybody could look at where we were 12 months ago and where we are now, and the progress of some of us younger players, we've got a cup on the table. I think people that want to come out and criticise, then unfortunately, mate, they're just going to lurk in the backgrounds and use any stick they can to beat me with. For me personally, I became. Some of it is just, how can I say, social media driven. Eamon McManus, I love Eamon McManus. He's such an intelligent bloke. I think he described social media as an open sewer last year. That's why when you guys ask me questions about what people are saying on social media, I've not got much time for it. But social media generally, Aaron, with the greatest respect, I've been in the game 17, 18 years. And I'm being judged by people who have got less knowledge than me about rugby league. So I think Marco Pierre White handed his Mitchell and Stars back in because he said he was fed up of getting critiqued by people that knew less than him. So I just keep a silence on it, mate. And I trust that the players that I've coached, and I'm talking state of origin players, Australian internationals, Great Britain internationals, do my talking for me. And I think that's why some clubs value what I can do for them as a coach, whatever role that's been. I'm not precious about being a head coach. I just love working in the game at whatever level, and I'm really comfortable with that. So you get what I'm saying here, mate, that I've had messages from former Australian internationals and state of origin guys this morning. And I think it's the impression you make on them guys rather than trying to win a social media battle that has probably allowed me to be sat here today.
I thought Niall's come in and not playing any games, and what's he had? 3 or 4 training sessions to come in and perform the way he did was really good. But it shows massive credit to our medical team who've worked with Niall and also Niall as well. He's worked really hard to get himself in a position to even be considered to be playing at this moment in time.
Richie would have copped his fair share of criticism last year, but I've coached Richie before. I've had a fairly long-standing relationship with Rich. And when we were very open about the reasons we wanted to sign Luke Gale, and it could have gone one or two ways. But I see the value of having a person and a player like Richard. He's experienced. He's tough. I don't think people give him credit for just actually how tough he is, and he was prepared to adapt. And look, he nearly signed for Toronto, and I think all the stuff that's been happening with Toronto has allowed us to nip in and sign him again. And I just can't say how pleased I am. Pleased for him today, pleased for him on a personal level. So much admiration for the way he's attacked this year. And he's become such an important team man and a popular team man for us this year that, the respect he's carries within our group is massive, Alan.
I think Rich he's been getting better and better at fullback, and that performance there today was fantastic. And look, he's been an integral part of our team. I love playing with him. The combination we've got going, I think, is great. And He pops up out the back on that left edge, and he's always a threat. So no, look, from a player who's probably he's not had the best couple of years, he won't mind me saying that, to come and win the Lance Todd and win a Challenge Cup final. I've had every admiration for him, and I presented his jersey last night in the hotel, and I was honoured to present his jersey because I think what he's done this year has been fantastic. I think his mindset's been great, so I applaud him.
Well, I don't know if this is a fact, but I'd assume that they've got a fair bit more big game experience than us in the team. When you look, when you start going down there, I think they as I say, I think they could get under the radar a little bit. Hang on a minute here. This is chock-a-block with people that have played finals, played NRL, played international football. If I did have a concern, our prep's gone great this week. And if I did have a concern this weekend was turning up for the big occasion. And I actually felt for our group that the lack of crowd actually could help us because, the pressure that a crowd can bring sometimes and the nervousness, that had disappeared. But look, I thought we got a bit of that in our performance today. I thought we had a number of kids that weren't where they have been over the last few weeks. And I think the whole build-up and occasion and a little bit of anxiety got to them a little bit in that. And that'll be a terrific learning curve for us moving forward to get it under the belt. But I did mention to Luke in the week, do you know the captain's name goes on the cup? Not that he needed any more motivation or determination. And he was like, oh, does it? Like, yeah. They engrave your name on the cup if we win. So I don't think there were any more motivated guy than him. Really disappointed we couldn't get Dwyer on earlier. But he's been great. He handled his bench time fantastic. And he has undoubtedly learned from last time he came with Warrington when we were part of that coaching staff where he came on and had a little bit of an error strewn 15, 20 minutes. So, yeah, for sure. There's some moments in there and some players in there that I thought their experience were crucial at times for us.
I mentioned that last night. It was a boyhood dream to lead Leeds out as captain to play at Wembley. To win it is beyond belief, really. As you say, it's took me till 32. I never give up hope. It didn't start, my career didn't start probably the way I wanted it to. We had to go to Doncaster on loan, and look, it's been a great journey. It's been one hell of a story as well. So to then win a Challenge Cup at 32 is look, it's what dreams are made of, Ross. So I'm overjoyed, and as I say, it probably hasn't sunk in yet.
Myself and my father, we've become the first people to do this. And I think from a little rugby mining village, I think that's a wonderful story for us and as family. Now, I mentioned before in the build-up to the week, it's poignant for us because when Featherstone won in 1983, my mother she'd had cancer for 12 months. And coming out to win that trophy and then getting the Man of Steel like he did, were at the time when my mother went into remission. Subsequently, he came back to get her a few years later. So you could see from a family, personal point of view, why I got a little bit emotional at the end of the game and why on a personal level it means that much. It's certainly nothing about proving myself as a head coach. I just think there's some family reasons in there and I just said to the guys, they can never take this away from you. Never, ever take this away from you. And of all the clubs to win it at, Leeds have got a strong tradition and history of looking after their own people. So if we can't celebrate in the way we normally would tonight, we know there'll be a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year reunion where Phil Kaplan will get us down and organise a great day for us.
I don't think this is the first. I think it's a young team. I mentioned before, we're only going to get better. As someone said, my 12th game for Leeds. A lot of the spine as well. My 12th game with Rob Louis, Cruz Lehman's a new addition. Richie just started playing fullback. Bear in mind, he's a fairly good fullback. So, look, we're only going to get better. It's a new team. What Rich Agar's done, look, I know I just heard his interview before. He's a bit of an unsung hero, but what he's done for this team is fantastic. He makes it enjoyable coming training every day. He took over a bit of a bad patch with Leeds, and they got dished up by Bradford not much longer than a year ago. I don't know what round that was in, but to go on then and win the Challenge Cup the following year, it just shows what a great job he's done. He won't take no credit for it, but I'm going to give him the credit. He's been fantastic. And as I say, you turn up with a smile on your face every day, and he has so much belief in the young boys and belief in us. And I'm proud for him. He spoke about his parents then. He's done it for himself now, and I'm massively proud of him.
Well, you've just mentioned 1983. Obviously, it's going to take some time to settle in, but what's the feeling like compared to how it was then? And what will you be telling people in the future about what this day meant to you?
Well, look, I'm sort of coming down from a very nervous and anxious 40 minutes. So it's just not sunk in yet at this moment in time. It's a long time ago. It's 1983. I think I was 10, 11 years old, something like that. I seen BBC my bizarre haircuts out on the vision before the game. So no, it's not sunk in yet. But really, I'm going to be blatantly honest. It's not about me. It's never been about me, and I've not given too much thought to lifting the cup and me and my dad and all that. Honest, hand on heart, I just wanted our blokes to win. I just wanted our blokes to win for them to get the feeling. I've experienced it before. I just feel the way they've stuck together, the way we've rode out some good and bad times together, I just really wanted our guys to win for them, not for me.